Astronomy, UPSC Prelims. Astronomy, UPSC Prelims Previous Year Questions, 1979 to 2024. Year 1979, Question 1. Question. The weight of an object at the poles is greater than at the equator. This is because a. Of the shape of the Earth, b. The attraction of the Moon is maximum at the Earth's surface, c. The attraction of the Sun is maximum at the Earth's surface, d. Gravitational pull is more at the poles. Year 1979, Question 2. Question. The minor planets revolving between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter are called a. Asteroids, b. Comets, c. Meteors, d. Novas. Year 1979, Question 3. Question. The planets nearest to the Sun are a. Mercury and Mars, b. Earth and Mercury, c. Mercury and Venus, d. Mercury and Uranus. Year 1979, Question 4. Question. At which place will you find maximum sunlight in December? A. Kanyakumari, b. Pune, c. Calcutta, d. Leh. Year 1979, Question 5. Question. Solar eclipse occurs when a. Earth comes between the Sun and the Moon, b. Moon is at right angle to the Earth, c. Moon comes between the Sun and the Earth, d. Sun comes between the Moon and the Earth. Year 1980, Question 1. Question. Which country is known as the land of the morning calm? A. Japan, b. Korea, c. Taiwan, d. Netherlands. Year 1980, Question 2. Question. The international date line, a. roughly corresponds to the 180th meridian, the regions to the east of which are counted as being 1 day earlier in their calendar dates than regions to the west, b. roughly corresponds to the 180th meridian, the region to the west of which are counted as being 1 day earlier in their calendar dates than regions to the east, c. roughly corresponds to the 90th meridian which falls on the opposite side of the Greenwich meridian, d. roughly corresponds to the 135th meridian which falls on the opposite side of the Greenwich meridian. Year 1980, Question 3. Question. The rising of the evening star Venus indicates a. South Pole, b. North Pole, c. East, d. West. Year 1980, Question 4. Question. When it is 8 a.m. on Wednesday at Greenwich, a. It is 10:30 p.m. on Wednesday at London, b. It is 6:15 a.m. on Tuesday at New York, c. It is 3 p.m. on Wednesday at Hong Kong, d. It is 5 p.m. on Wednesday at Tokyo. Year 1981, Question 1. Question. Why is there a severe difference in the climates of the northern and southern hemispheres? A. Due to rotation of the Earth around its axis, b. Due to revolution of the Earth around the Sun in its orbit, c. Both of the above, d. None of the above. Year 1981, Question 2. Question. There are two places P and Q. The longitudes of P and Q are 45 degrees east and 60 degrees west respectively. What will be the difference in their local times? A. 7 hours, b. 6 hours, c. 3.5 hours, d. Both places will have the same local time. Year 1981, Question 3. Question. Different seasons are formed because a. Sun is moving around the Earth, b. Of revolution of the Earth around the Sun on its orbit, c. Of rotation of the Earth around its axis, d. All of the above. Year 1981, Question 4. Question. Why does the USSR have many local time differences? A. Because of long east-west stretches, b. Because north-south stretches more, c. Because it covers 2 continents, d. Because of large differences in climate. Year 1983, Question 1. Assertion A. The same side of the Moon is always seen from the Earth. Reason R. The Moon rotates on its axis once in each orbital revolution. A. If both A and R are true, but R is not the reason for A, b. If both A and R are true, but R is the reason for A, c. If neither A nor R is correct, d. If A is correct but R is wrong. Year 1983, Question 2. Question. In which of the following cities can one never see the sun shine overhead at noon? A. Delhi, b. Visakhapatnam, c. Trivandrum, d. Bangalore. Year 1984, Question. Halley's Comet has to appear in the solar family in the year A. 1986, b. 1988, c. 1989, d. None of the above. Year 1986, Question. At a certain place, the Greenwich Mean Time is ahead by 12 hours. The place is located at a. 180 degrees west of GMT, b. 180 degrees east of GMT, c. 90 degrees west of GMT, d. 90 degrees east of GMT. Year 1988, Question. Indian Standard Time, or IST, is determined according to the local time of which one of the following longitudes? A. 82.5 degrees east longitude, B. 0 degrees longitude or Greenwich meridian, C. 180 degrees east or west longitude, D. 70 degrees east longitude. Year 1989, question. Constellations referred to as zodiac are A. Imaginary regions that encompass the path of the planets, B. Signs of Roman gods, C. A group of stars, D. None of the above. Year 1990, question 1. Question. Which one of the following is the largest of the inner planets? A. Venus, B. Mercury, C. Mars, D. Earth. Year 1990, question 2. Question. If the difference in time of two places is 2 hours and 20 minutes, then the difference in their longitudes would be A. 30 degrees, B. 35 degrees, C. 40 degrees, D. 45 degrees. Year 1990, question 3. Question. Which one of the following is not a satellite of Jupiter? A. Io, B. Callisto, C. Europa, D. Titan. Year 1990, question 4. Question. Which of the following is the brightest heavenly body in the evening or night sky? A. Jupiter, B. Saturn, C. Mars, D. Venus. Year 1990, question 5. Question. The path of Halley's comet in its orbit around the Sun is A. Parabolic, B. Hyperbolic, C. Elliptical, D. Circular. Year 1991, question 1. Question. Which one of the following is not a satellite of Jupiter? A. Io, B. Callisto, C. Europa, D. Titan. Year 1991, question 2. Question. The speed of revolution of the Earth in its orbit round the Sun is A. Same throughout the year, B. Greatest when the Earth is nearest to the Sun, C. Greatest when the Earth is farthest from the Sun, D. Least when the Earth is nearest to the Sun. Year 1991, question 3. Question. Seasons on the Earth are caused due to A. The elliptical orbit of the Earth, B. Alteration or change in the speed of revolution of the Earth, C. Inclination of the Earth on its axis of rotation, D. Differences in the amount of energy received from the Sun. Year 1991, question 4. Question. On a half-moon night the angle between the Moon and the Sun, when measured from Earth, is about A. 45 degrees, B. 60 degrees, C. 90 degrees, D. 180 degrees. Year 1991, question 5. Question. Jupiter completes one circuit of the Sun in A. 13 years, B. 12 years, C. 16 years, D. 10 years. Year 1992, question 1. Question. A person stood alone in a desert on a dark night and wanted to reach his village, which was situated 5 kilometers east of the point where he was standing. He had no instruments to find the direction, but he located the polystar. The most convenient way now to reach his village is to walk A. in the direction facing the polystar, B. in the direction opposite to the polystar, C. in the direction keeping the polystar to his left, D. in the direction keeping the polystar to his right. Year 1992, question 2. Question. If Amsterdam is x plus 1, Montreal is x minus 5, Tokyo is x plus 9 and Lisbon is x, then x denotes A. GMT, B. the temperature as measured by the Kelvin scale to arrive at the temperature as measured by the Celsius scale, C. base from which height and depth from the sea level is measured, D. the figure to be used for converting the imperial system to the metric system. Year 1993, question 1. Question. Which of the following places have their standard times that are the same as GMT? 1. Accra 2. Dublin 3. Madrid 4. Lisbon. Choose the correct answer from the codes given below. A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 1, 3 and 4, C. 1, 2 and 4, D. 2, 3 and 4. Year 1993, question 2. Question. Consider a specific point on the surface of the Earth, say the city of Delhi. The temperature at a given time of day, say noon, will in general be higher in summer than in winter. This is because A. The Earth is closer to the Sun in summer than in winter, B. Sun rays falling on the Earth are inclined more towards the surface of the Earth in winter, C. Evaporation of water from atmospheric precipitation occurring in winter alone, D. The axis of the Earth is inclined more towards the Sun in winter. Year 1994, question 1. Question. The length of its day and the tilt of its axis are almost identical to those of the Earth. This is true of A. Uranus, B. Neptune, C. Saturn, D. Mars. Year 1994, question 2. Question. An airplane takes off from 30 degrees north latitude, 50 degrees east longitude, and lands at the opposite end of the Earth. Where does it land? A. 30 degrees north latitude, 50 degrees west longitude, B. 30 degrees south latitude, 50 degrees west longitude, C. 50 degrees north latitude, 30 degrees west longitude, D. 30 degrees south latitude, 130 degrees west longitude. Year 1994, question 3. Question. When it is noon along 82 degrees 30 minutes east longitude, along what degree of longitude will it be 6:30 a.m.? A. Along 165 degrees east, B. Along 67 degrees 30 minutes west, C. Along 0 degrees east or west, D. Along 82 degrees 30 minutes west. Year 1995, question 1. Question. Of the 4 places marked 1, 2, 3 and 4 on the map of India, the one indicating a tile port is A. 1, B. 2, C. 3, D. 4. Note, this question refers to a map diagram. Please refer to the original printed question for the map. Year 1995, question 2. Question. A meteor is A. A rapidly moving star, B. A piece of matter which has entered the Earth's atmosphere from outer space, C. Part of a constellation, D. A comet without a tail. Year 1995, question 3. Question. Diamond ring is a phenomenon observed A. At the start of a total solar eclipse, B. At the end of a total solar eclipse, C. Only along the peripheral regions of the totality trail, D. Only in the central regions of the totality trail. Year 1997, question 1. Question. Which one of the following stars is nearest to the Earth? A. Polaris, B. Alpha Centauri, C. Sun, D. Sirius. Year 1997, question 2. Question. If the Earth's direction of rotation is reversed, what should be the Indian Standard Time when it is noon at the international dateline? A. 6:30, B. 5:30, C. 18:30, D. 17:30. Year 1997, question 3. Question. The group of small pieces of rock revolving round the Sun between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter are called A. Meteors, B. Comets, C. Meteorites, D. Asteroids. Year 1998, question 1. Question. Consider the following statements regarding asteroids. Statement 1. Asteroids are rocky debris of varying size orbiting the Sun. Statement 2. Most of the asteroids are small, but some have diameter as large as 1,000 kilometers. Statement 3. The orbit of asteroids lies between the orbits of Jupiter and Saturn. Which of these statements are correct? A. 1, 2 and 3 are correct, B. 2 and 3 are correct, C. 1 and 2 are correct, D. 1 and 3 are correct. Year 1998, question 2. Question. When there is noon at iced meridian, people at another place on the Earth are taking their 6 o'clock morning tea. The longitude of that place is A. 17 degrees 30 minutes east, B. 7 degrees 30 minutes west, C. 172 degrees 39 minutes east, D. 90 degrees west. Year 1998, question 3. Question. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below the lists. List 1, special characteristics, A. Smallest planet of the solar system, B. Largest planet of the solar system, C. Planet second from the Sun in the solar system, D. Planet nearest to the Sun. List 2, name of the planet, 1. Mercury 2. Venus 3. Jupiter 4. Pluto 5. Saturn. Codes, A. A2, B3, C5, D1, B. A3, B5, C1, D2, C. A4, B1, C2, D3, D. A4, B3, C2, D1. Year 1998, question 4. Question. Consider the following statements regarding asteroids. Statement 1. Asteroids are rocky debris of varying sizes orbiting the Sun. Statement 2. Most of the asteroids are small, but some have a diameter as large as 1,000 kilometers. Statement 3. The orbit of asteroids lies between the orbits of Jupiter and Saturn. Which of these statements are correct? A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 2 and 3, C. 1 and 2, D. 1 and 3. Year 1998, question 5. Question. One astronomical unit is the average distance between A. Earth and the Sun, B. Earth and the Moon, C. Jupiter and the Sun, D. Pluto and the Sun. Year 1999, question. A ship sailing from the eastern extremity of the Aleutian Islands to Dutch Harbor crosses the 180-degree meridian at 23:30 on January 1, 1999. What time and date will be recorded by the captain of the ship in his diary after a 1-hour journey from the point of crossing the meridian? A. January 1st, 030, b. January 2nd, 030, c. January 3rd, 030, d. January 4th, 030. Year 2000, question. A black hole is a body in space which does not allow any radiation to come out. This property is due to its a. Very small size, b. Very large size, c. Very high density, d. Very low density. Year 2001, question. If the stars are seen to rise perpendicular to the horizon by an observer, he is located on the a. Equator, b. Tropic of Cancer, c. South Pole, d. North Pole. Year 2002, question. Which one of the following statements is correct with reference to our solar system? A. The Earth is the densest of all the planets in our solar system. B. The predominant element in the composition of Earth is silicon. C. The Sun contains 75% of the mass of the solar system. D. The diameter of the Sun is 190 times that of the Earth. Year 2003, question. Among the following, which planet takes the maximum time for one revolution around the Sun? A. Earth, b. Jupiter, c. Mars, d. Venus. Year 2005, question 1. Assertion A. The existence of human life on Venus is highly improbable. Reason R. Venus has an extremely high level of carbon dioxide in its atmosphere. A. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are true, but R is not a correct explanation of A. C. A is true but R is false. D. A is false but R is true. Year 2005, question 2. Assertion A. The same face of the moon is always presented to the Earth. Reason R. The moon rotates about its axis in 23½ days, which is about the same time that it takes to orbit the Earth. A. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are true, but R is not a correct explanation of A. C. A is true but R is false. D. A is false but R is true. Year 2006, assertion A. To orbit around the Sun, the planet Mars takes lesser time than the time taken by Earth. Reason R. The diameter of the planet Mars is less than that of the Earth. A. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are true, but R is not a correct explanation of A. C. A is true but R is false. D. A is false but R is true. Year 2007, question 1. Question. Which one of the following cities does not have the same clock time as that of the other three cities at any given instant? A. London, UK, B. Lisbon, Portugal, C. Accra, Ghana, D. Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Year 2007, question 2. Question. What is the average approximate distance between the Sun and the Earth? A. 70 times 10 to the power 5 kilometers, B. 100 times 10 to the power 5 kilometers, C. 110 times 10 to the power 6 kilometers, D. 150 times 10 to the power 6 kilometers. Year 2008, question. In order of their distances from the Sun, which of the following planets lie between Mars and Uranus? A. Earth and Jupiter, B. Jupiter and Saturn, C. Saturn and Earth, D. Saturn and Neptune. Year 2009, question. Which one of the following planets has the largest number of natural satellites or moons? A. Jupiter, B. Mars, C. Saturn, D. Venus. Year 2011, question. What is the difference between asteroids and comets? Statement 1. Asteroids are small rocky planetoids, while comets are formed of frozen gases held together by rocky and metallic material. Statement 2. Asteroids are found mostly between the orbits of Jupiter and Mars, while comets are found mostly between Venus and Mercury. Statement 3. Comets show a perceptible glowing tail, while asteroids do not. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 and 2 only, B. 1 and 3 only, C. 3 only, D. 1, 2 and 3. Year 2012, question. A person stood alone in a desert on a night and wanted to reach his village, which was situated 5 kilometers east of the point where he was standing. He had no instruments to find the direction, but he located the polystar. The most convenient way now to reach his village is to walk in the A. Direction facing the polystar, B. Direction opposite to the polystar, C. Direction keeping the polystar to his left, D. Direction keeping the polystar to his right. Year 2013, question 1. Question. Consider the following. 1. Electromagnetic radiation 2. Geothermal energy 3. Gravitational force 4. Plate movements 5. Rotation of the Earth 6. Revolution of the Earth. Which of the above is responsible for bringing dynamic changes on the surface of the Earth? A. 1, 2, 3 and 4 only, B. 1, 3, 5 and 6 only, C, 2, 4, 5 and 6 only, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 only. Year 2013, question 2. Question. Variations in the length of daytime and nighttime from season to season are due to A. The Earth's rotation on its axis, B. The Earth's revolution around the Sun in an elliptical manner, C. Latitudinal position of the place, D. Revolution of the Earth on a tilted axis. Year 2019, question. On the 21st of June, the Sun, A. does not set below the horizon at the Arctic Circle, B. does not set below the horizon at the Antarctic Circle, C. shines vertically overhead at noon on the equator, D. shines vertically overhead at the Tropic of Capricorn. Year 2022, question. In the Northern Hemisphere, the longest day of the year normally occurs in the A. first half of the month of June, B. second half of the month of June, C. first half of the month of July, D. second half of the month of July. Year 2023, question. Consider the following pairs of objects in space and their descriptions. 1. Cepheids, giant clouds of dust and gas in space. 2. Nebulae, stars which brighten and dim periodically. 3. Pulsars, neutron stars that are formed when massive stars run out of fuel and collapse. How many of the above pairs are correctly matched? A. Only 1, B. Only 2, C. All 3, D. None. Year 2024, question 1. Question. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. Giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars. Statement 2. Compared to dwarf stars, giant stars have a greater rate of nuclear reactions. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? A. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 explains statement 1. B. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. C. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. D. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Year 2024, question 2. Question. On June 21st every year, which of the following latitudes experience a sunlight of more than 12 hours? 1. Equator. 2. Tropic of Cancer. 3. Tropic of Capricorn. 4. Arctic Circle. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. 3 and 4, D. 2 and 4. End of doc.